My wife and her sisters thought it was funny to prank me 7 years. That's how long it took before I stood in front of her again. 7 years since I woke in that hotel room, wrists burning from the cheap rope, the sound of her laughter echoing down the hallway while her sisters dragged my passport and wallet out of reach. "Good luck," they shouted, giggling like schoolgirls. 900 miles from home, tied to a bed, no money, no way back. That was my send-off. She thought it was a prank, but I remember the look in her eyes, the way she smiled as if I was less than a man. It wasn't a joke, it was cruelty. We had been married 5 years then. I thought love meant loyalty, trust, building something together. I worked 2 jobs so she could chase her degree. I missed birthdays, missed weekends, convinced myself sacrifices would mean something. Her sisters never liked me, said I was too serious, too boring. I wasn't their drinking buddy, wasn't part of their chaos. But I loved her, enough to endure them, enough to believe she was different. That night in the hotel, I realized she wasn't. She was them. Every memory, her hand in mine, her whispered promises, rotted in a single moment. I made it back, barely. Weeks of couch hopping, favors from strangers, a Greyhound ride that smelled of piss and regret. By the time I reached home, they were gone. House empty, bank account drained. My name left as a joke in the mouths of neighbors. Humiliation burns deeper than betrayal, and humiliation is not something I forgive. So I disappeared. Let them think they broke me. Let them laugh. They never saw what I built in silence. First, I learned patience. I found work far from anyone who knew me, changed my number, started over with nothing but anger and resolve. Every dollar I earned, I split in 2, survival and preparation. I studied them quietly from afar. Social media accounts, careless, arrogant, public. They posted everything, new cars, vacations, drinking nights, their children's faces. They lived like the world owed them a stage. And I watched, saved, collected. I learned where they worked, who they owed, which debts were unpaid, which marriages were crumbling. Every secret they broadcast without knowing I was listening. I became a ghost in their lives, gathering every crack in their armor. And then, opportunity came. Her eldest sister's husband, a banker with wandering eyes, cheated. I fed the proof to the right inbox, and her world collapsed. Divorce, bankruptcy. She blamed everyone but herself. She never thought of me. The second sister's business, cosmetics sold out of her garage, wasn't exactly legal. A quiet tip to the right regulatory agency, and her doors were locked within weeks. She posted rants online, screaming about haters. Again, never once did she think of me. I left my wife for last, always last. She was the core, the ringleader, the one who tied the knots on my wrists and kissed my forehead before walking out the door. 7 years later, she found me. At least she thought she did. She saw my name connected to a small firm I'd built, a business clean, profitable, unassuming. She came to my office dressed in a coat too expensive for the debts she was drowning in. Her smile was rehearsed, desperate. "John," she said softly, "I didn't know you were here." Her voice trembled, but she tried to hide it. I let her sit, let her talk. She spun a story about mistakes, about time passing, about maybe reconnecting. I watched her lips move, the same lips that once whispered forever while planning my humiliation. And then I nodded. "I'd like you to meet someone." The door opened. Her smile broke. Because standing behind me was her youngest sister, the only one who, after years, had come to me privately, ashamed, broken by their cruelty. She'd told me everything, every detail of that night, every plan they made. She had cut ties with them and rebuilt herself quietly, like I had. And now she stood at my side, my business partner, my ally. My wife's face drained of color. You're with her?" she whispered. "No," I said coldly. "She's with me." That was the moment the balance shifted. I didn't have to shout, didn't have to threaten. She saw it in my eyes, that everything she had built on lies was already ash in her hands. The contracts she thought were her future, bought out from under her by a shell company I controlled. The last property she clung to, in foreclosure, papers filed weeks earlier. Her reputation in the community, shattered by whispers, seeded long before she stepped into my office. I didn't destroy her. I simply removed the ground she thought she stood on. She fell all on her own. She left my office in silence, a hollow shell of the woman who once laughed while I begged her to untie me. That night, I poured myself a drink and stared at the city lights. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. Not joyful, not happy, just free. I never wanted her back, never wanted an apology. All I wanted was balance, and I took it. Now when I close my eyes, I don't hear her laughter anymore. I hear silence, and silence is the sweetest sound of all.